This is the second episode of Glad with Dad. My name's Harrison, and I'm joined with
Alan, Harrison's dad.
Yep. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the fear of rejection and the impact it has on your life. I feel like this is a very important thing that has an impact on most people's lives.
Yeah,
to be honest,
definitely.
Yeah, so we'll get straight into it, and so where do you think it started in your life, that fear, fear of rejection?
I was a scrawny looking kid, full of freckles at school.
Yeah.
So I think I didn't get too much attention there. And I was picked on a bit too. So I think it goes hand in hand with the fear of what people think.
Yeah.
The fear of rejection.
Definitely. Definitely.
And I just remember with girls, for instance. I remember my first girlfriend. Her name was Pauline Brown, and she
how old were you?
I would have been maybe 8, 10.
Really?
Yeah. And she was full of freckles and brown hair. And to me, she was attractive, right? But other people didn't see her in the same way that I seen her.
Yeah.
And I was influenced straight away by what other
people were saying,
their opinions of things. So I had that fear of being rejected from my own what I actually liked. Yeah. Really, and so that didn't last too long. But we were only kids anyway, so
definitely
that didn't matter. But later on, it sort of I remember going. Girls would say to me, "Oh, you're such a nice bloke,"
Yeah.
But I just want to be friends, And geez, it used to piss me off,
Yeah. Everyone's heard it.
Suppose it's the soft way of saying I'm not interested.
Yeah, probably.
But I didn't take it that way.
Yeah.
I just said, and then I used to watch friends of mine and people that I've seen treat their girlfriends like shit.
Oh, I see it all the time.
And I used to think to myself, what? And here there are people saying I'm too nice to be with.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, so what? You want me to treat you like a piece of shit? Then you might go out with me?
Yeah. It's very easy to fall into that way of thought, but there's so much more behind it than that.
Yeah, I'm sure there is, but like at the time I didn't think that. I just thought,
definitely.
Why? And of course I couldn't be that way because that's not who I am.
Yeah,
so
100%.
I couldn't treat him like
the same thoughts have crossed my mind before. It's usually there's this thing like nice guy finishes last sort of thing.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, I've heard that before, and it's prominent throughout all ages. Yeah, really.
But I don't think it's true. Even though it's said a lot, I don't believe that to be true.
I don't think so either.
And I wouldn't want to be a person other than who I am. Really, just for the sake of acceptance.
Yeah, and those people who didn't want you for you at that time, that they weren't right for you.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's what it was.
But as a young man,
it's hard to think that.
But if that happens enough as a young person, that has an effect on you as you're older.
Definitely.
For me, I had, then I'd be frightened to ask girls out, really. Girls that I liked, in case I got rejected. It had a big effect on me, really. And What about you? How did that affect you?
Well, rejection predominantly showed itself in probably a pretty major part of my life, which was like with my peers. Yeah. So that's where it really mainly showed at the start, making friends, just interacting with people at school in general. even people who weren't just my friends, just in general, like asking for a pencil or anything small like that, it would lead into some form of rejection in some way. Obviously, not every time I would ask for a pencil or any time I'd ask for anything, I would get rejected. But it was very...
So if your self-esteem was low, that's how you would perceive everything?
Yeah. When your self-esteem is low, you perceive like all the bad things that happen in your life are like highlighted, and all the good things that happen in your life are just kind of shut back in the back of your memory because they're not as important, not as prominent. So it seems like everything's the worst and everyone's against you. Yeah. When in reality, it's not really. That's the way it is. Yeah, it's not really true either. So, so it definitely showed up like with my peers. It also came up like what you were saying, like with women, like romantically, but I don't think the fear of that sort of rejection was nearly as large to me as getting the rejection that I got from peers in school and stuff like that.
That's fair enough. And like I remember, like I wouldn't even like ask girls that I liked. I'd go for more women that I
get with.
Yeah, I could see that they were interested in me, and I could also see within them they had the fear of rejection as bad as me, if not worse.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's not nice to admit that.
Yeah.
But that's the truth.
Yeah.
And
well, when you're in that lower state of thought, like you just want to you want to feel accepted, you want to feel loved
of any kind. Yeah, 100%.
Any way, so you try and get that. However you can.
And it's it was hard. It was hard as a young man. I know that,
Definitely.
And like as I got a bit older, then that fear, how it showed itself with me, is I would get drunk rather than having to face up to that fear. I'd have a drink. Because I didn't want to. Face the fear of being rejected.
And that numbs it all down. So
and I thought it helped, but what it done was actually push people away that I liked. Because they'd see me as a drunk.
So the rejection was just not in your face. So it wasn't affecting you as much, but it was actually more than before.
100%. And that just robbed me of so many.
It would have
opportunities that I didn't know, and it wasn't just with women; it was just with friends too. Like I wasn't a sports person. That wasn't my go, and a lot of the top kids are usually
sporty. I remember in primary school, the fastest kid in the school was usually the most popular.
Wow. Well, it was usually the football.
Something like
or
that.
Or the cricket or anything. I played all kinds of sports and wasn't that good at any of them, but I played them, and that made it even worse when you're not that good. But you have a go.
But you felt embarrassed when other people who were doing well, and you were just there, just kind of diddling along with whatever sport you'd pick up.
And so what would I do to compensate? I would be always joking around, and
that's how you get your attention.
100%, and my acceptance of people. Rather than getting rejected because I wasn't good at sport, I'll be something else. I'll be a clown. Definitely would like me for that reason.
That's why heaps of people end up being that way inclined, being the class clown, I guess. Because that's their form of
coping. That's a coping mechanism.
100%.
And you're not good at, or you're unsure of what you're doing. 100%. That's in so many areas. I done that.
Definitely.
How did it show itself with you?
Well, in those sort of areas, it was definitely academically. Like in class, if people if there was a question and I thought I knew the answer, I wouldn't raise my hand, or I wouldn't say there was something that most people would be getting easy. I wouldn't even raise my hand to ask for help, for the reason that maybe someone around me might be listening in and think I'm stupid for needing help with this. You know, so I would have to go and speak to the teacher after class, like before everyone's left, if I had to ask them something. And even then, I wouldn't even do that, because sometimes I even felt like that I was even getting judgment from the teachers, which personally I probably wasn't even real. Like, not many teachers out there.
It's amazing how many things are just fancy. But they're so real in our head, you know?
100%. Reality is so much different than how we perceive it. So you can't really take all your memories or how you think about even how people treated you as fully 100% correct, because a lot of the time that's your own story that you've been telling yourself.
100%. You know? And I find that myself, and you know, that's why, like we were talking last time, that if, like things that are not questioned, thoughts that are not being questioned, we begin to believe, really. So for me, I need to be questioning things continuously. I'm not saying every second of the day, but if it's an important thing in my life, I need to question my thinking.
Definitely.
Really. Or
Or
else I'm going to be acting from old patterns of thinking without even realising it. You know.
100%.
Like, or even not do things because of that fear of rejection. Is that, you know, or the fear of what people think. You know, which is sort of like I said, hand in hand. And I don't know anyone that hasn't got that fear of what people think, because of the social instinct that we have and the herd instinct. We all need that kind of acceptance from
our tribe.
Our tribe, you know. And that's why it's so important to find your own tribe.
100%.
And it as a young person, you don't know what that is, really.
And now in today's society, it's even harder because of the internet. Our tribe can be expanded throughout the whole world, and even so, the opinions of others that we have that don't actually matter in our lives, all of a sudden matter. And we're not built biologically to be dealing with the opinions of thousands or tens of thousands of people, which even hundreds, which a lot of people are dealing with online.
Wow.
So,
geez, I'm glad I didn't have that kind of. I was in trouble enough with the people that I was dealing with without having that on top, you know.
People blow their rent money so they can impress people online by buying a new watch or something like that, you know.
Wow. I didn't know any of this.
But
on the flip side of that too, people can get acceptance as well, which they wouldn't have otherwise.
Definitely. There's benefits.
There's two sides of that social media. Kind of acceptance. I'm sure.
100%.
And you know, like. For me, the main thing is not to be, you know, not to deny that I've got the fear. Because if I'm denying that I've got the fear, then I'm not going to be honest with myself, and I'm going to act from an old thought pattern straight away, because that's just automatic.
Or you act from a starting place that isn't even there.
100%.
Because what you're saying to yourself is reality isn't reality, because that fear is there and it is impacting your attitude or what decisions you make.
100%. You know, so I see it's the main thing for me is to be honest with myself that I've got it, because then I've got a chance of finding a different thought pattern. You know, if I want a different result, that is. And sometimes with some people, depending on the trauma, people have different traumas around different things, you know. So I do know that that is hard with some people to face up because of their own traumas, you know. and there's lots of help out there. If you have that, I encourage you to go and get professional help. There's a lot of good people out there that can help you through these things.
There's helplines. There's even apps now where you can text people that you need help with.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they are, but I'll find them and I'll put them in the description.
Yeah, wow.
The video.
That's fantastic, So, but like I said, the main thing is to be honest with myself, that I've got the fear.
Yeah.
Because then I can have a different thought pattern, or a chance of a different thought pattern happen if I wanted it enough.
Yeah, definitely.
And how do you sort of get resolution around it?
Well, I think we all want to be accepted, right?
Yeah,
so when we have rejection that comes in our life in any form, a lot of the time we take it on as if it's like a personal attack on either our morals, our personality, our appearance, any of those things. But more often than not, it's nothing to do with that. It's something to do with them. Either not necessarily them being bad either, but just them being different. Yeah.
And you're not clicking with them.
Yeah.
And we take that personally.
Yeah.
But we're not
like that.
clicking.
Yeah, like there are so many people.
You can't click with everybody.
You've met and everyone listening has met who have been great people in their own right, but they just don't click with each other, and that's just how it is. And you don't think that they think that you hate them now because you just don't vibe with them. And if they thought that would kind of annoy a lot of people because it's not real. Yeah. And but at the same time, a lot of us are thinking that same way when we get rejected. But if you want to really recognize that, what you have to do is you have to expose yourself to rejection as much as possible and in any way possible, because then it kind of, you get used to it. I
remember a man saying to me long time ago, he says, the more you get rejected, the easier it will become. Yeah. And that's sort of just facing up to that fear, and then you get less frightened of it, really. And it doesn't hurt so much. So, and it's the wording that I used to say too. I used to say I was terrified of, and this same man used to say, let's just say you're apprehensive. Let's bring it down a notch or two. Then you can deal with it. If you're terrified, you're not going to deal with it. But if you bring it down to I'm apprehensive because of the fear, well, then you got a chance of dealing with that. So it's again,
it's exposure and also not only exposure, it's awareness of what rejection truly is. Yeah. Which is what I was saying earlier. It's not necessarily to do with you. Like rejection doesn't come from a place of malintent or from a bad place. It just comes from
just not clicking.
Yeah, just not clicking. Yeah. Correlation doesn't equal causation.
Yeah, wow. That's fantastic.
So, yeah, definitely.
Cool. So that's about it for us here on around that. So hopefully you've got something out of that, and if you have, by all means, what it would mean the world to us is if you liked us on the channel, shared it, made a comment,
definitely,
and started following us, because we're hoping to put out a podcast every week.
Yeah, and, every Sunday.
Yeah.
So.
And really thank you for joining us. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'm just over the moon to be doing this.
Yeah, this is so fun. I'm loving it.
I don't know of anyone that does this with their son. So I'm just over the moon, and I just feel blessed to be able to have this opportunity to share and get the different opinions of not just my age, Harrison's age as well, and you get different perspective, different words, click with different people. So it's really important to hear it from two different people,
and even us talking about it with each other helps us learn our own things about ourselves.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it just
and we get to know each other, get to know about each other, and
just promotes that way of thinking.
So just like to let you know you're not alone with these feelings. Everyone's got them, it's just different degrees, and a lot of people are good at hiding them.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you next week.
All right.
Cool.
Cheerio. Bye.